Yo guys, Fish here bringing you more Marvel Rivals content. Today's video I'll be bringing you the full Groot guide following the latest update, breaking down all of his abilities, including his team-ups, and addressing both his strengths and weaknesses. This is episode 41 of my Hero Series guides with all of the previous episodes on my channel, and on that note, let's get right into it. So first things first, as an overview of this character, Groot is a Vanguard in this game, an incredible primary tank, a mid-range bruiser with powerful area of denial abilities, capable at creating obstacles to protect his allies and block enemy fire. The walls are incredible for blocking lines of sight, dealing damage, blocking damage, and separating enemies. Groot is one of the best tanks in the game, who's capable at solo tanking, making him viable for and against most systems in this game. As for his stats, he has a base health of 850 with a standard movement speed of 6 meters per second, so he's one of the strongest, if not the strongest hero in the entire game with regards to base health, making him a great primary tank and a great fit for that role. As for his abilities, Groot has the Vine Strike primary attack. By pressing R2, Groot can launch vines to attack enemies, dealing 65 damage up to 22 meters away, making him a mid-range Vanguard, and can attack every 0.7 seconds with no critical hits. Now, this ability is difficult to understand how to use against moving and flying targets, but once you get the hang of this, he is a really effective damage dealer in the right hands. Groot also has the great ranged attack by using the Spore Bomb by pressing L2, where he can throw an explosive Spore Bomb that splits into multiple small explosive spores. That this ability has a 6-second cooldown in between uses, so you can use it quite regularly, and also each Spore Bomb then explodes into 6 mini explosive spores, which each of the Spore Bomb generating a spell field within a 5-meter spherical radius, with each of the smaller spores creating a spell field of 1.5 meters in radius. Now, the projectile itself doesn't deal any damage, while the Spore Bomb, the initial impact, deals 55 damage, whilst each of the individual explosives deal 10 damage. So if you land it on one guy in one target, it will deal up to 115 damage in total every 6 seconds. As you can see, this is a really good attack to have, where you can use it as the entry ability to deal initial damage, then follow up with your Vine Strikes and walls or whatever it may be, or you can save it in your back pocket. Of course, with the cooldown, you can use it so regularly, but you can save it in your back pocket as almost like a final executioner ability, which does a sneaky amount of quick burst damage. So just bear that in mind if you guys are going to play this character. Now, as for L1, Groot's Thorn Lash Wall, by pressing L1, allows him to target a location and grow a Thorn Lash Wall, and when awakened, it strikes nearby enemies attacked by Groot and his allies. Each wall has a health of 250 with a 18-meter max placing distance, with each Thorn Lash Wall dealing 60 damage every half second, and Groot has 2 charges with this. Each of these walls takes 6 seconds to recharge, so you have plenty of walls, and as I said, they deal 60 damage per half second. So as you can imagine, if you place these in crucial spots behind enemy backlines where they're not expecting it, or it does sneaky burst damage, this is a crazy damage dealing ability, so bear that in mind. And then as well as this, he's more of a tanking wall. He has the Ironwood Wall. By pressing R1, he can place this in a target location and grow this wall, and when awakened, damage dealt by Groot and nearby allies grants Groot bonus health within a 10-meter max distance, having a 12-second cooldown between uses and a 600 total health. So this is a very tanky wall, and the Ironwood Wall heals 40 bonus health per second, up to 250 bonus health for Groot, so this is crucial for both tanking and sustain. Understanding where you place this and all of these walls in general is the real sort of high skill and key aspect of playing Groot. In order to play this character at a higher level, you need to both be accurate with his primary attack and also being able to place his walls in key and crucial locations, both separating enemies but also dealing damage as well as staying alive, and just crucially placing these in the right positions is really fundamental in being able to help your teams win team fights and just generally play in a solo tanking system. More often than not, you will find yourself struggling if you do not place these walls well. You can also cut off hills really well by placing these walls, separate, like I said, enemies where they're going to be exposed or left vulnerable, and they're not going to be sort of expecting a quick surprise burst damage because they're not getting any constant hills. Also, you're cutting off hills for other supports, which means they're not going to get their ultimate as quick as possible, which is really sort of crucial in team fights later, because the quicker that you are to getting your ultimates as a team, the quicker you can try and wipe out the enemy team as well. So that is just a fundamental tip that I would suggest for playing this character. As well as this, Groot also has the Furious Flora melee ability. By pressing R3, he can perform a combo with his arms. Now, the third strike will slightly launch up at the enemies airborne when they are hit. The first 2 strikes have a 3-meter distance, whilst the third strike can reach up to 4 meters, so very close quarters. But this is really crucial to have and use when you're sort of playing against a Doctor Strange, who obviously has a shield up, or a Magneto, or anyone who has shields up. This is a really good ability to start using and getting comfortable with, especially when you're combining his ranged attack with this to deal close quarter damage as well as just medium to long range damage as well. As for his passive ability, he has the Flora Colossus. Now, this ability is where wooden walls near Groot will then awaken, activating the extra effect of all of their walls. And then we have the ultimate ability known as the triangle in prison, where he can fire a massive vine cluster that pulls enemies nearby into its center and imprisons them for 3.5 seconds, only costing 2,800 energy, which is very cheap, and deals 10 projectile damage, with the spell field dealing 70 damage as well. While imprisoning enemies, it also then deals a further 20 damage every half second for the duration, so plenty of damage, but it's more so known for the stun effect, which is crucial. Imprisoning enemies sets it up to be one of the best combo ultimates in the entire game, setting up an entire team wipe when used well, alongside another ultimate ability with perhaps Moon Knight or Winter Soldier, whatever it may be, to crowd control an entire situation, being one of the most effective ultimate abilities in the game at either baiting out enemy support ultimates or also just setting up an entire team wipe. As I said, when used right in skilled hands, this is a really good and crucial ability to both master and just save in your back pockets for the right times. I would not use this prematurely. I've tried this many different times to try and set up different comps or different sort of setups in different team fights or different sort of executioner style abilities, and I've tried out different methods to try and see which one works best. And I'd say do not prematurely use this. Try and time it to either sort of wait for the ultimates from the elements supports, or just keep it in your back pocket for when you're trying to combine and link with your other teammates who can help out, and like I said, create an entire team wipe by doing this together. And then as for his team up abilities, he actually has two. He has the Wild Wall team ability with Mantis. It's where Mantis enhances Groot's wooden walls and Loki's runestones with life energy, and with this, Groot can additionally unleash a flower wall, which when in Flora Colossus state, when awakened, it restores health to random nearby allies and granting them damage reduction. Now this wall has a 10-second cooldown. It's very squishy with only 150 health, a 10-meter range, but provides 40 healing per second. So when you place this like almost like a flat ceiling or whatever above you, or somewhere hidden where other enemies are not going to see this, this is when I would recommend and suggest using this, because it is a really cool ability to have, a great team up that I absolutely love. But he also shares the Friendly Shoulder team ability. When paired with Rocket Raccoon and or Jeff the Landshark, they gain the ability to hop on Groot's shoulders, granting them a 35% damage reduction. Now this is crucial for them for their staying alive ability and just maintaining Groot's survivability as well. But also in a 3 support system, if you can assign one of these 2 characters to Groot, it can massively improve him staying alive, because he's going to get the first off one-off heals all the time from these guys, whilst they're also having a damage reduction, and they can then also deal damage or whatever it may be using their attacks as well, which is really crucial. But also in a 2-tank system, this will just massively improve the chances of those that sort of dive heroes not being able to pick off your support and your support staying alive. So just bear that in mind if you're playing either Jeff or Rocket, or of course if you're playing Groot, because this is a really strong team up as well. But in summary, I would say Groot is a strong Vanguard with medium range capabilities, elite tanking potential, and higher skilled than most Vanguards to learn, but both with various counters and weaknesses that you'll need to understand in order to avoid those situations and also just stay alive. Improving his survivability is crucial, using his walls in the right areas, but very powerful to have in your bag, especially if you're a Vanguard main like myself. This is someone you will definitely want to be able to use, especially against certain team compositions where he is so useful, especially as I said in a single tank system. But there you guys have it. That's the full guide for Groot. If you've enjoyed, do not forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, tips or tricks, or any cool clips that you want to share about playing with Groot or against him, let me know down below in the comments and I'll go right back to you. I'm Vision. I hope you found this useful and enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.